Namaste. Consulate General of India, Frankfurt welcomes you to yet another session of our Navratri series, second edition. Let's connect 9 women, 9 success stories. India is a land of festivals. Navratri is a sacred Hindu festival which is celebrated over 9 nights. During Navratri, different forms of the feminine is remembered and worshipped. A divine form of feminine is that of motherhood. The role of a mother in shaping an individual, his thoughts, his actions, who he becomes in future is great. Mahatma Gandhi said, if we want real peace in this world, if we want real war against war, we should begin with children. As a part of this Navratri series, each day we introduce you to a woman of Indian origin who has found a very significant place for herself in Germany. Today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Dr. Latha Mani. Dr. Latha Mani is a pediatrician and a psychotherapist practicing in Frankfurt. Dr. Mani has a specialization in pediatry and from the University of Mainz Children's Hospital and has a vast research experience in inborn metabolic disorders. Dr. Mani has around 20 years of experience in 5 different countries, 3 different continents. Dr. Mani is a second generation Indian who was born and brought up in Frankfurt and continues to live in the city with her very beautiful family. Dr. Mani is a philosopher, a thinker, a mother. She draws her energy, her inspiration from Indian philosophies both in her personal and in her professional life. Dr. Latha, thank you for joining us. Please do tell our viewers a little more about yourself, your career, your interests.
First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today. Describing myself is definitely not always easy because life takes its course and with the experience through life and with the possibility to live in different countries, which I think was a great experience for me also, to personify more and more things in yourself, value systems which you renew also. So what I will say today might not be true for me in 10 years, or what I say today might not be true when I was 10 years younger. But definitely, the choice for me in life was always, if you have choices to choose love, to choose kindness, to choose positivity. That is actually what I would say was my choice in my life. There is always the option to look at the darker sides of life, but to choose positivity and to spread enthusiasm. That is, I think, where I would say I've tried to describe myself. And curiosity. Curiosity, yeah. So that is something which we sometimes lose in the course of life. We have, through our cognitive ideas, we limit ourselves. We become risk managers. We think the things through and our options become limited. So but to go back and have that inner child and the curiosity open.
That's really a very good idea to hear from you. Dr. Latha, as I have understood, you are a person who holds very dearly to your Indian roots. How is it possible that you hold strongly to your Indian roots, to your Indian tradition, even though you were born here, you've been raised here, and you have a career here in Germany?
I think, I was lucky to grow up in a surrounding where my parents gave me a lot of opportunities. And we used to travel every year to India. And also there was a vast family. There were so many family members. That joyfulness in the beginning and also that love for the country was developed in those stages. And the passion through music, the passion through dance. Classical dance was also part for me in my childhood and up to my med school. And also the language. That is something which I think language is a way to merge into your surroundings in India. We all get chances to meet good people and to take that.
You rightly said that there are people who mold us and there are experiences that mold us. In this fast-moving world, we are faced with many challenges. As parents, how do you think we could equip our children to face these challenges at the best?
What I see that childhood actually means to have time. As a pediatrician, what I realized in the last 20 years, what is a big difference is that we used to still have time for boredom, right? Yeah, just to have time to be bored, look at things, That is something that children nowadays hardly have. They are pretty much also in that rush state of life. But development of a child means to take time. Children have to try things several times till they work. But we have to understand that every step in childhood, up to adulthood, children have to have the time to do the trial and error. I often have the feeling that parents, due to their own fears maybe, which is understandable because they might feel pressure, they might feel worried. I feel sorry sometimes when I see the kids have to run from schooling, then they have to have the extracurricular activities, they have to do their sporting, they have to do their instrument. I don't want to say that this is not necessary. It should be done, but in a pace which is according to the child. At least that the child has the opportunity to fear for itself. Okay, I want to play the piano because I love to play the music, and it is not because I want to be better than that kid in my class or that other kid. Because that will not, raise any happiness in the child. It will just put pressure on the kids. But the children, they really gain by the confidence of their parents in the child. If the parent says, "You're perfect the way you are, I love you unconditionally," then like plants, they will just grow, But if the child learns at a very early age, "Oh gosh, I'm not enough, I have to do this, I have to do that," that's actually not only for children, we also wish that, right? Every human being wishes to be loved for the one that you are, without having to prove yourself. And I think that's what is lost in today's race pace of life,
Very true. And another question that comes, which is very much related to the previous question, is regarding the overwhelming nature of social media that we have, the exposure that children have to things around them, and how can they best equip themselves so that they can know where to say yes, where to say no, where are the boundaries, how can we as parents help them out with that?
When we look at all the iPads, computers, mobile phones, just to put it also in the medical area, we should always have in mind our vision is limited, right? We look at screens, we're not looking left, right, up, down. We have a lot of children who have problems, that's why with their eyesight. We have a lot of kids who are short-sighted. Kids are also not outdoors where you can see the horizon and you're in rooms, so that is the medical aspect to it. On the other side, there is also always the light in all these, devices. So the problem is that will also keep us awake. It's good to have a limited screen time. Yes, and the kids should work a lot with their hands and creativity instead of just being passive. One more point I would like to mention is that in general, when I look at the movies or also Netflix serials or media as such, often we have a lot of negative impacts, right? Stories are more problem solving or also maybe dystopian. Future is also depicted in a problematic way. Human relationships are also often projected in such a way. And for children, it is important to see also the possibility of positivity. That is not so often shown in movies or media. People watch too much Netflix, they have a negative outlook to the world. And this mean-world syndrome is also something which we get through media. We feel like we have to protect ourselves, we have to defend ourselves.
To understand reality and the virtual world, to understand the differences and to perceive it.
Exactly.
Dr. Latha, when we see you, one thing that strikes us is your beautiful smile. I would like to know, what is your source of motivation? What is that energy that keeps you going?
Well, thank you for that. I think, I must say, I believe in things. I don't just think in if-then clauses. So I have a good connection, and I believe also that there's unlimited possibilities in it. Keeps me going, but it is also a habit. There's a beautiful saying which says, look at your thoughts, they make your words. Look at your words, they make your habit. Look at your habit, it makes your destiny. So it begins for me already in the thought level. As a picture, maybe when the sun shines, the sun is there every day. Some days we have clouds covering the sun, but actively, try to push away the clouds. The sun is always there. So that is one of the things,
Definitely, that would be a lot of motivation to our viewers. Another question that comes to my mind is, there are a lot of young Indian families who move to Germany, be it reason of their work or their profession, and they are faced with different challenges. So you come from a different culture, you come to Europe and you have parenting to be done in a different culture which you're not familiar with. What would be your advice to them?
I think always when you change the country, there is a general thing, we call it the you start very enthusiastically in the beginning. You're like, curious and open-minded and all that. And after a while, there comes a tendency where you start missing what you're used to. And hopefully after that, then there comes again, the area where you feel you have nice new bondages and all that, and it will make you happy again. And I think to know that and to accept it, So every beginning has its magic that is there, but to know also that it will not always be easy at any point in time. It will take time. And I've had a lot of families coming new to Germany, and I always like to ask them also when I see them later, how long did it take you to really reach here? And in general, most of them said about 7 years. 7 years sounds very long, maybe they were new, right? But sounds long now because maybe you think everything will be done in 7 months or maybe in 2 years. Yeah? But usually it takes about 7 years to really feel I have reached and I'm a member of the society. And again, language, very important, coming here, learning the language. Also, that'll take time, which is understandable, but that is going to open up your possibility to connect also with local people, understanding, and you can multiply your own identity. I think that is very important, to see it as a chance to multiply. Of course, there will be a nostalgia, there will be homesickness, that's all there. But that belongs to your past. Your present is here, it is now, and to try to embrace it. And it is very understandable that that will take time. But the more you can embrace it, the more your child can also feel home here, and they will be molded by the society in which they live. This is something we have to accept. And I had a very forward-thinking father who was a teacher and came to Germany with his little daughter, and he said, I don't know how I should explain to my child, because we come from a collective mindset, we come from a society, Asian society, where there is this collective mindset, like I'm happy when my loved ones are happy, but the society is more in an individual mindset. So the individual should fulfill its dreams and find happiness in that way. So how should I show her this way? And I thought he was so forward thinking, and he was ready for all these questions, and I think that is important for parents to know. And to have like a good, in both sides. I don't think that one or the other is the solution, but it is the chance to multiply your identity and harmonize all these impacts of it.
Definitely. Thank you, Dr. Latha, for your insights. It was definitely a pleasure for me, for our viewers to listen to you, to understand your ideas, your thoughts. Thank you once again for your time, for your ideas, and for being with us. We wish you the very best in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.